afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. I have with me Mr. Mike South from Field Community Adventures.
Good afternoon, Mike.
Available
Don't mind me calling you Mike. That's fine.
It's available to answer any questions required. Now, Mr. South has put a proposal to Council to operate various Segway tours on Council Reserve. One out based on Second Park, which would take in the Lions Walk between Rainbow Point and Kaunihera Point. The second one in Star Park itself, which would just utilise Star Park. And the third one staying in Star Park and utilising the beginning of the Rotary Ride and parts of Underland Park for the tracks there. So there's details in the report, plus we've given you a bit of extra information about the proposed routes. Is there anything else you'd like me to go over?
Well, no, I mean, I've read the report and I'll probably start the ball rolling. I've just had concerns that's through the Lions Walk, not about Star Park and, around is it the Owen Delaney area in behind that, all the trees got what is that for the other part?
Yeah, it would be the part of Underland Park that we can utilise would be the sections of the Rotary Ride track that start at the Stream Bridge and go up through Underland Park until they get to the intersection of the Patuiwi Dock and Underland Park. And then the other section is the track we call the day-night extension that was put in a couple of years ago for no filming. And runs up the boundary of the dockland and then around the edge of the fields, past the archery and back down to the Potland Stream. So those are the tracks that are proposed to be utilised for one of these tours.
Councillor Minster?
Yeah, just like I can just see a conflict of running and cycling that's already there. I'm personally only for the Spa Park area, just that there's an open space and I run these trails and bike these trails and the Lions Walk. I just think unless you can manage that somehow, I think it's quite difficult to manage even for people who aren't on motorised bit of transport. I think that's just another, we're trying to increase traffic on these, but this sort of traffic I'm concerned about unless you've got an answer to my concerns. My question is, so how would you manage a busy Lions Walk with a Segway?
Oh, just for me.
Yeah.
Right, so we're just starting on the Lions Walk.
That's an example. Yeah.
Right, why we propose to use the bit which is past Whai's, because the path's a lot wider than it is from parts of up to 2 mile back. There is actually room in parts for probably 3 Segways side by side, and we wouldn't do that. We would only operate sort of in a line, so to speak. They're governed to about 8.5 kilometres an hour, so not going very fast. There'll be high vis fizz and helmets, so it'll be very visual. But I hope that answers your question. Councillor?
Yeah, I've got some real concerns regarding the Lions Walk, particularly because these are motorised. I certainly support the Spa Park one. I think that's got some really good potential because of perhaps the interest in the local area and just the fact that Lions Walk is just straight and flat. And you're driving around on the lake edge and it's quite a picturesque place, but I would have thought the Spa track would have been more.
One of them's for adventure and the other one's more for a scenic sort of informative tour. There won't be as much riding on the Lions Walk tour, more of a sort of informative welcome to the lake. Maybe parts of the lake that tourists wouldn't normally get to under their own steam. I mean, it is a fair way out, sort of 3 mile back. That's what it's proposed.
But I have got some real concerns.
It's worth noting that there are a lot of tours around New Zealand that use a lot of paths that are even narrower than that. We've got Devonport, Whangarei, Wellington, I believe Christchurch, where they might not be running at the moment, and a very successful one around Queenstown on the lake. Just a little bit of background.
Councillor Pugh?
Yeah, I just sort of reiterate what Councillor Kathleen said. It's a regular user of the Lions Walk with children. You've got bikers who, some of their behaviour towards the walkers and giving way, I mean the behaviour's not that flash, dogs off leashes and all those different elements. I've got real concerns about it, and also just for the council to approve something like this and for there to be an accident. I'm just wondering what the fallback on council would be. I mean, accidents are accidents, but still, if one is to happen, then what is the legality issues around that for us?
Probably our responsibility, I would imagine. Councillor.
Rob's not in here, but I did see says yes in resolution part 4, the resolution 1.3 above the subject to legal advice confirming the status of sequelays in New Zealand. Councillor Henderson. Oh, Rob, you are back there. Sorry. Would you like to say something to that?
Take a question. Well, I don't think I can answer the question directly as to what legal liability there might be. That's a bit dependent upon what is the legal status of these beasts in New Zealand. Because there's a different issue if they are deemed to be motor vehicles than if they are not deemed to be motor vehicles. So that's why I recommended the last line going recommendation.
So just in addition to that, when segways were brought to Taupo for the police to use, did we not find out then what the legalities were around segways?
Well, I think that was the main reason that Rob's just mentioned.
The current interpretation, as I understand it, is that they are classed as motor vehicles.
Councillor Henderson.
Two questions. The first one is, I see there's some reference points here to the area of the lake club that you would intend to operate in. How long is that approximately? A few hundred metres?
The whole area?
Yeah.
It's probably a couple of kilometres from about Kowhai Road all the way through to the end of the walk.
The second question was, you mentioned some other areas where they're operating pedestrian areas.
Yes, Queenstown would be the one on.
Do you want to tell us a bit more about how those work and if there's been any issues?
We sort of modelled, we've been down to Queenstown too. They're the most successful operation in the country. And it sort of mirrored Taupo a little way because they've got lake and tourism is quite high. They're very similar. There's a lot of grassy areas on the other side of the tracks, which is the same where we propose to operate. And basically it's an hour's tour. 20 minutes of that's going to be training and making sure that they're capable of doing the activity, and then the next 40 minutes will be probably only covering a kilometre, possibly two. It depends on the group.
How long has that been operating in Queenstown, and has there been any safety incidents?
I'm not aware of any safety incidents. I'm sure they've been operating for at least a year, if not a couple of years. I'm not. I can find that information out for sure.
Councillor Craig.
Because say some years ago our Rotary Club supplied segways to the police here in Taupo, and the police had them for a few months, and they decided that they had some reason why they couldn't use them anymore. It was supposed to be to help, in the holiday period. Right. Are you aware of what that reason was? Why the police
a little bit. I'm reasonably new to Taupo. I've only been here 10 months. I believe that there is ongoing legal questions over the Segway. At the moment it isn't classed as anything, so it's not a vehicle, it's not a mobility scooter. The data that we have that's going to the courts is that the Segway is actually less powerful than a mobility scooter, so we're really hoping that it gets that classification of a mobility scooter rather than a vehicle, because then it would actually take them out as a tourism device in the whole country, and I think that's going to be very positive.
The other point I could just ask, obviously the Lions Walk wasn't designed for this, it's only narrow in some places, other places it's wide and wider. Have you ever thought of going into places like the dock paddocks, which are a bit further on than the Lions Walks, which, as Alison will tell you, are all available now for recreation?
I'd be willing to check them out. The bits we chose were because there's lots of grass on the other side of the path. The segways don't actually need to be on the concrete path. They can quite easily operate on grass areas as well.
It'll be worth investigation, because we hate to sort of squash some another tourist activities, because we are a tourist town.
Right.
Councillor Munson?
More a comment, I don't think the Lions Walk was created, or the Spa Park trails were created from otherwise. It wasn't